Lady boss energy, yeah, she knows the way. You can finally speak of love and light any time of day. Lady boss energy, this one she got the vibe. Never stop questioning, never tell a lie. Never stop questioning, never tell her lies. He was gotta do it, he don't leave with bad to miss you. Alright. Lady boss energy, this one she got the vibe. Never stop questioning, never tell a lie.
What's good, family? This is Lady Boss Energy, where we uplift, motivate, and inspire each other. Let's get our shit together. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know somebody who you think would enjoy watching this, share it with them. So, we have been programmed, brainwashed, all of those things to forget who we are. And I found this video. It's like 29 minutes long, but I was so excited to watch it, but I want to share it with you also. I want us to watch it together. I want us to be enlightened together. I want us to grow together, and we can. We have been taught that this is what this reality is, and that is it, and anything outside of what we've been told is not true, and that is not true. That is a lie. They've lied to us about everything. And so I'm excited to watch these videos with you. I've decided that I'm going to start showing the videos that I watch in my own personal time that help me be a better me, that help me grow, that help me expand my awareness, that help me be able to look within and go within and heal the parts of myself that are not so pretty, accept those parts of myself that I don't want other people to see, accepting those parts of myself, acknowledging them, and intertwining them in with the goodness within myself. I'm excited for this video. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to get into it. But before we do, I saw this experiment that this man did. And it's a 45-second long experiment, so it's not that long. But every time I catch myself slacking, I go back to that video and what happened and how I felt in that moment. So we're going to do it together. So close your eyes. Picture yourself 10 years from now, and you're not where you want to be. Feel that emotion of disappointment. Feel that hurt and that ache within yourself 10 years from now. Okay, you're sitting in your apartment, wherever you are. It's not where you want to be in life. You're not in the house you want to be in. You're not at the job you want to be in. You're not doing what you love. Your health is horrible. You are just in the worst predicament. And you sit there and you think back to 10 years. And you're like, this is not where I pictured myself being 10 years from now. Feel that emotion. Now, in that vision, you hit your knees. And you cry out to God. And you say, please give me another chance. Please. If I could just go back to that day, I would do things so differently. Now open your eyes. And your prayer has been answered. So what are you going to do with it? Are you going to sit around and be the victim? Are you going to sit around and continue with the habits that have gotten you nowhere in life? Are you going to sit around and keep doing the same shit you've been doing? Remember that moment. Remember how you felt in that moment 10 years from now. And you're not where you want to be. Remember that. And when you find yourself slacking, when you find yourself mindlessly scrolling or doing shit that doesn't align with who you want to be, remember that moment. And you've been given a second chance. Make the most of it. Nobody can do it for you but you. Nobody can do the work that needs to be done within yourself to be the best version of your life, to have the best life that you could possibly imagine for yourself. If you envision that daily and you go to bed tonight and you say, okay, the smell, that was it. And you can reflect on your day. Did you do everything in this day to be the best you could possibly be? Think about that. It's affirmation time. It's affirmation time. Affirmation time. Hey! All first affirmation for today. Say, I am a divine being. You are divine. You are the divine in human form. You are the creator of your reality. You create your own reality. What does a creator do? What did our creator do? Created us, right? You are a creator. Therefore, you are divine. Therefore, stop second guessing yourself. Stop doubting yourself and start walking in your truth, baby. Listen, because ain't nobody's gonna do it for you but you. Believe in yourself. You can do this. I believe in you. But you gotta believe in you. Me believing in you ain't enough, friend. You gotta do it yourself. Who cares what other people think about you? Who cares what they are gonna say? So what? Let them. When other people judge you, it is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. When other people are mean to you for no reason, it's because they see qualities in you that they don't see within themselves. And that's okay. Keep shining your light. Keep speaking the truth. Keep speaking your truth. And everything's going to be amazing. I believe in you. Now go believe in yourself. And all second affirmation for today, say, my efforts are being supported by the universe. My dreams manifest into reality right before my eyes. Keep a journal of your progress towards your dreams to see their manifestation over time. Oh, I know that's right. Yes. Whatever works for you. Just do something different, man. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Our quote of the day, because a quote today keeps the mediocre away. If you realized how powerful your thoughts were, you would never think a negative thought again. You are the creator of your reality. If you choose to focus on negativity, that is what is going to manifest in your reality. If you choose to focus on lack and need and want, you're going to continue to be in lack and need and want. Vibrate as though you already have it, and it will be yours. And that is just the universal law. I believe it's the universal, I think it's the law of polarity. I'm studying the laws. I've been lacking on that. I haven't been studying them. I'm going to get back into it. After I'm done doing this video, I'm going to go study. And our cheesy joke of the day, because what is a day without a cheesy joke? What? What vegetable is cool, but not that cool? Do you get it? A radish. Do you get it? Because it's rad-ish. Ain't nothing to but do it. Let's get straight into it.
The scriptures openly declare that you are God operating in human form. 2,000 years of conventional religious interpretation have convinced billions otherwise. When Moses asked for the divine name, the answer was, I am, exactly the same consciousness that you experience right now, not symbolically, literally. Jesus stated, before Abraham was, I am, and I and the Father are one, revealing that you and the creative power of the universe are identical. The very scriptures they read every Sunday scream the truth. The kingdom of heaven is within you. You don't need a connection with God because you are the divine consciousness itself, pretending to be limited. That constant fear of failure you cultivate, it's shaping your future right now. Do you accept the feeling of scarcity as normal? It's programming your bank account. You were trained from childhood to look for God outside, to pray to something external, to ask permission to exist fully. But you need to understand the exact mechanism by which your feelings become your reality, because most will die without ever discovering that they always had the power to create any life they desired.
You are God experiencing life through a human body, but you have spent your entire existence searching for a connection with an external divinity that never existed separate from you. The scriptures themselves declare this truth openly, although 2,000 years of biased translation and dogmatic interpretation have obscured the obvious. When Moses asked for the divine name at the burning bush, the answer was, I am that I am. Precisely the same consciousness that you experience now while reading these words. That fundamental certainty of existing, prior to any identification with name or form, constitutes the divine presence operating through human experience. Not a spark, not a connection, but the total creative power of the universe, manifesting as individual consciousness. Neville Goddard exposed this mechanism without ambiguity in Feeling is the Secret. Consciousness is the one and only reality, not figuratively, but literally. Every object, person, and circumstance in the physical world represents states of consciousness, crystallized into apparent form. The observer creates the observed, not poetically, but operationally. Jesus Christ stated, "The kingdom of heaven is within you, and I and the Father are one," revealing not a special condition of his own, but the nature of all human consciousness. When understood literally, these declarations destroy the religious power structure built upon the premise of separation. If each individual recognized their divine identity, all external spiritual authority would evaporate instantly. The mechanism by which you forgot this truth operates through the apparent division of consciousness. Neville describes two aspects working together: the conscious, masculine and selective, which thinks and chooses, and the subconscious, feminine and receptive, which accepts without question and manifests into reality. The conscious generates ideas and impresses these ideas on the subconscious. The subconscious receives ideas and gives them form and expression. The operational secret resides in feeling as the only means of communication between these aspects. No idea can be impressed upon the subconscious until it is felt, but once felt, be it good, bad, or indifferent, it must be expressed. Each sustained emotion programs the subconscious, which faithfully reproduces these impressions as external conditions. The world around you now reflects exactly the feelings you have cultivated, consciously or not. This deliberate forgetting serves a specific purpose. Like an actor who must forget their identity to fully live a character, the divine consciousness needed to veil its omniscience to genuinely experience the human condition. Neville confirms, the waking man is under compulsion to express his subconscious impressions. To experience the human drama authentically, you first needed to forget that you wrote the script. Every financial problem arises from feelings of scarcity accepted as truth. Every illness manifests from emotions of vulnerability or attack sustained in the subconscious. Conversely, every success and moment of joy also emerged from corresponding feelings. You were never a victim. You were always the creator operating through a mechanism that no one taught you to use consciously. While millions pray to an external God, they are literally talking to themselves without knowing it. Each supplication represents the temporarily amnesiac divine consciousness, asking itself to remember its power. Each spiritual search is God looking for God, the infinite pretending to be finite, to experience the process of rediscovery. Your deepest desires are not whims of a limited ego, but impulses of the universal creative power seeking to express itself through your unique perspective. Each genuine ambition represents God desiring to experience more of Himself through your specific focal point of consciousness. Awakening to this truth doesn't mean escaping human experience, but participating in it consciously. When the divine amnesia begins to dissipate, you don't abandon the game. You finally begin to play it with knowledge of the rules. The question then becomes, how did this divine consciousness voluntarily descend into human limitation? And what is the greater purpose of this elaborate journey of forgetting and remembering? The divine name revealed to Moses establishes the foundation of all genuine spiritual understanding. I am that I am doesn't represent an external entity introducing itself, but consciousness itself recognizing itself through Moses' human form. Every time you pronounce I am, followed by any qualification, I am tired, I am prosperous, I am sick, I am happy, you invoke the same creative power that spoke from the midst of the bush. The difference lies only in what you attach to this fundamental declaration of existence. The sacred words of the scriptures all converge on this same inner reality. Jehovah translates as He causes to be, or He brings into existence, precisely what your consciousness does continually. Lord means the one who has dominion, and you have complete dominion over your experience through feeling. Christ, from the Greek Christos, means the anointed one, the consciousness awakened to its creative power. Jesus, or Yeshua, means Jehovah saves, consciousness saving itself from the illusion of limitation through recognition of its true nature. Matthew 16 presents one of the most significant revelations when Jesus asks the disciples who they say He is. Peter responds, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus then declares that this revelation didn't come from flesh and blood, but from the Father who is in heaven. Translating beyond the symbolism, when human consciousness recognizes its Christ identity, its anointed creative power, this perception comes from within, from the deepest dimension of being, not from external teaching. Neville Goddard illuminates the structure of this consciousness through the metaphor of the mystical marriage. The conscious is male, the subconscious is female. The mystery to which Paul referred when he wrote, "This is a great mystery. He who loves his wife loves himself, and the two shall become one flesh," is simply the mystery of consciousness. This union between the aspects of consciousness appears poetically in the Song of Songs. By night on my bed I sought him whom my soul loves. I found him whom my soul loves. I held him and would not let him go until I had brought him into my mother's house and into the chamber of her who conceived me. The text describes the nocturnal process where the conscious mind seeks the subconscious to plant the seeds of desire. The mother's house, the chamber of her who conceives, represents the subconscious that gives form to all impressions. Neville explains, preparing to sleep, you feel yourself in the state of the wish fulfilled, and then relax into unconsciousness. Your realized wish is that which you seek. The spiritual structure revealed by Paul in 1 Corinthians establishes a precise hierarchy. Apostles first, prophets second, then teachers, workers of miracles, healers, helpers, administrators, and speakers in tongues. This order doesn't confer moral or spiritual superiority, but indicates specific functions in the cosmic drama. Romans 11 clarifies definitively, "Even so then, at this present time also, there is a remnant according to the election of grace. And if by grace, then it is no longer of works. Otherwise, grace is no longer grace." The selection occurs before birth, before any conscious action or choice. Some are predestined to awaken first and assist others in the process, not through personal merit, but through the necessity of the divine plan of progressive self-revelation. Each role was distributed before the descent into human form. This descent represents the most extraordinary movement of consciousness. No one has ascended to heaven but he who descended from heaven. You cannot ascend to a state you didn't previously occupy. The divine consciousness voluntarily descended from perfect unity to experience multiplicity and separation. It wasn't a fall or an error, but a deliberate choice of temporary self-limitation. Neville describes the purpose. You are an eternal dreamer, dreaming non-eternal dreams. The infinite chose to experience finitude, the immortal chose to taste mortality, and omniscience chose to know ignorance. Through this journey, consciousness acquires something impossible in its original state of perfection: the genuine experience of overcoming, discovery, and transformation. The serpentine energy mentioned in ancient scriptures, the Kundalini of Eastern traditions, represents this same consciousness asleep at the base of the spine, destined to eventually rise through the energy centers until it explodes in the skull, revealing the glorified form, human in face and hands, but transcendent in power and wisdom. This is not esoteric symbolism, but a technical description of the awakening process predetermined for all incarnated consciousness. Human imagination doesn't constitute a tool that you possess or a mental faculty that you developed through evolution. Imagination is God Himself operating through the human apparatus, the fundamental creative power of the universe, functioning in and as you. When you imagine any scene, you're not using God. God is expressing Himself through your imaginative activity. Neville Goddard establishes categorically, consciousness is the cause as well as the substance of the entire world. Everything that exists arose first in imagination and then condensed into physical form through the mechanism of feeling. Your capacity to imagine doesn't differ from the divine act of creation described in Genesis. When you mentally visualize any condition and feel it as real, you're participating in the same process through which galaxies were formed. The I am that you experience and the universal creative power are identical, not similar. When Jesus declared, "Before Abraham was, I am," He was revealing that consciousness precedes all manifestation, that I am exists before any specific form or identity. Abraham represents the manifested world, while I am represents the unmanifested power that brings everything into existence. You are that power, temporarily identified with a specific name and form. The mechanism through which this power operates was precisely described by Neville. The creative process begins with an idea, and its cycle runs its course as a feeling and ends in a volition to act. But there's a crucial distinction here. It's not the intellectual idea that creates, but the feeling that the idea generates. Feeling is the one medium through which ideas are conveyed to the subconscious. Therefore, the man who does not control his feelings may easily impress the subconscious with undesirable states. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between what society considers real or imaginary. To it, what you feel deeply is an absolute fact that must be expressed in the physical world. Neville explains, the subconscious is not concerned with the truth or falsity of your feeling, it always accepts as true that which you feel to be true. Feeling is the assent of the subconscious to the truth of that which is declared to be true. This understanding eliminates the distinction between fiction and reality. Every imaginative act possesses real creative substance. A scene imagined with sufficient emotional intensity will inevitably manifest not through magic or supernatural intervention, but through the very nature of consciousness. Because of this quality of the subconscious, nothing is impossible to man. Whatever the human mind can conceive and feel as true, the subconscious can and must objectify. The spiritual hierarchy described by Paul now reveals its true meaning. Apostles are consciousnesses designated to awaken first and assist others in the process. Prophets are those who perceive and declare truths before they become evident to the majority. Teachers are those who can articulate the process in a comprehensible way. But all operate with the same fundamental power. The difference lies only in the timing of awakening and the specific function within the greater plan. The grace that Paul mentions repeatedly doesn't represent arbitrary divine favor granted by an external God. Grace is the sudden, unearned recognition of your true divine identity. You cannot force this awakening through practices, disciplines, or good works. Romans makes it explicit. And if by grace, then it is no longer of works. Otherwise, grace is no longer grace. The awakening occurs at the predetermined moment, following the script that you yourself established before assuming human form. Some were selected to awaken at this specific historical moment, not through superiority or special merit, but because their awakening serves the unfolding of the divine plan. Each individual consciousness is equally God, equally powerful, equally sacred. The apparent differences in spiritual capacity reflect only different stages of the same remembering process that all will eventually complete. The mystery of the election remains hidden from the conscious mind. You cannot access the reason why you awaken at a certain moment, just as you cannot remember why you chose to be born into a specific family or circumstance. The Father, the deepest dimension of your own consciousness, keeps these secrets until the appropriate moment to reveal them. Trying to accelerate the process through personal effort contradicts the very nature of grace. When you understand that imagination is literally God operating through you, and that feeling is the creative mechanism, all traditional spiritual seeking loses meaning. You're not trying to reach God or develop divine powers. You're rediscovering what you always were, relearning to consciously operate the power you always used without realizing it. Every spiritual technique, every meditative practice, every religious ritual functions only as a different method to help consciousness remember how to assume the desired state through the feeling of its fulfillment.
The path to enlightenment is to reverse engineer back into that state of mind. And that state of mind, that original state of mind, has knowledge of all things that it has ever been, not just on this planet, but throughout the universe, aliens, other forms of life, etc., etc.
I still gotta find part 2 to
Carl
the first
Jung
one.
was right when he said, "The best method for dealing with the darkness of others is by understanding your own darkness." He said that self-awareness, particularly facing our own flaws, the shadow, allows for greater empathy and less judgment as we stop projecting our insecurities onto others and understand their struggles better.
This is what I'm working on.
Jung didn't believe that you could be a good person until you realized your capacity for evil. I don't mean acted it out in the world.
But understand that it's possible.
Well, not only understand it, but then to bring it under your control. You see, because there's a big difference between someone who's naive and is a good person. They're a good person because they can't not be. They're like a domesticated house cat. There's nothing they don't even have the capacity to be bad. So there's no morality in that. The morality comes when you're a monster and you can control it. And that's the Jungian encounter with the shadows.
Wishing good things would happen, but think bad things would happen? You see, most people will let their present physical results control their way of thinking. They're emotionally involved in it. They think it's an accident that the same results keep reoccurring. That's no accident. If you've got a financial problem, if you've got a cash flow problem, if you've got a marital problem, that's what most people concentrate on. If a doctor takes a photograph of your body and then tells you you're sick and shows you you're sick, what's the person concentrate on? Sickness.
Being sick. Yep.
What's the photograph prove? The photograph proves that the person has been concentrating on something wrong to move their body into that vibration. What should they do? They should ask for help. Where does it come from? There's only one source, and they see perfect health. Or they see prosperity. But the cynics don't believe this. Who's this guy saying the cynics don't get results either? Quit letting your present results control your thinking. This power that I call God is in every one of us.
Absolutely.
Your present or past results have absolutely nothing to do with what's going to happen from this point forward. Now, that was the point that Ray Stanford drilled into my head. You see, I kept thinking, well, gee, I'm such a mess up. You know, I've done everything wrong up till now. I'm 26, I'm broke, I'm not happy. Everything was wrong. He said, Bob, that's all in the past. Every moment is a new moment. What you were yesterday, you paid for. What you are today, you decide upon.
Yeah, make the best of every moment.
The Jungian shadow is not your evil self. It is that part of yourself which you hide, repress, or deny because you perceive it as undesirable part of yourself. And you are perceiving it as undesirable because of nature, nurture, social conditioning, cultural conditioning. The more strongly attached you are to this image of what you think you are supposed to look like in front of the society, that is your persona, the more rigid you are, the more unwilling you are to express parts of yourself, the more scared you are to allow for contradiction within yourself. The more attached you are to your persona, the greater, darker, and more dangerous your shadow self is.
You gotta accept all of it.
If you can see it here, you can hold it here. If you can entertain the idea, you can cause it to move into form because you are in harmony or can be in harmony with the laws that govern your being. You can get in harmony with God's laws, and when you do, then you can make anything happen. Anything.
Anything you want, friend. Anything.
Carl Jung identified 8 signs of an extremely rare personality type. And if you recognize even half of these traits, you're part of what I call the psychological elite. In his decades of research, Jung discovered that less than 5% of the population develops what he termed differentiated consciousness, a way of experiencing reality that most people never achieve. But here's what's fascinating. These rare individuals often spend their entire lives thinking something is wrong with them. Jung documented case after case of people with extraordinary psychological depth who had been convinced by society that their intensity, their sensitivity, their refusal to accept shallow answers were character flaws rather than signs of exceptional mental sophistication. The most shocking part? Jung realized these rare personalities aren't just different, they're evolutionarily advanced. They represent humanity's next stage of consciousness development. Join me as we descend into the depths of Jungian psychology to uncover these 8 definitive signs of rare personality types. If you recognize yourself in these patterns, everything you've been told about being too much will finally make sense, because you're not too much for the world.
Never.
The world is too little for you. Because here's what Jung discovered that modern psychology still refuses to acknowledge. The traits that make you feel like an outsider aren't defects, they're upgrades. You're not broken, you're breakthrough. Jung wrote,
The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But what if who you truly are doesn't fit into society's narrow definitions of normal? What if your intensity, your depth, your refusal to settle for surface-level existence are evidence of what I call advanced psychological architecture? Think about this from an evolutionary perspective. Throughout history, the individuals who pushed humanity forward were the ones who couldn't accept the status quo. They were the ones who questioned everything, felt everything, and saw possibilities that others couldn't even imagine. But here's the tragic irony. Society teaches these exceptional individuals to suppress their greatest strengths. You've probably been told you're too sensitive, too intense, or too complicated. But Jung understood that these supposed flaws are actually signs of what he called psychological differentiation, the rare ability to perceive and process reality at levels most people never develop. Modern neuroscience is finally catching up to Jung's insights. Dr. Elaine Aron's research on highly sensitive people shows that approximately 20% of the
What happened? I didn't...
The most difficult types is the intuitive introvert. The intuitive extrovert, you find them all hunters, bankers, gamblers. But the introvert, he has intuitions as to the subjective factor. In the inner world, very difficult to understand. What he sees are most uncommon things. He doesn't like to talk of them. If he's not a fool, because people won't understand it. When the introverted intuitive would speak what he really perceives, practically nobody would understand it. He would be misunderstood. And you hardly ever hear them talking. That is a great disadvantage. But it is an enormous advantage in another way. In human relations, they come into the presence of somebody they don't know. They have inner images. And those inner images give them a more or less complete information about the psychology of the partner. And they know an important piece out of the biography of that person. Introverted, intuitive, has a very difficult life, although one of the most interesting lives.
The most dangerous psychological sign is not panic. It is not rage. It is not even sorrow. It is unnatural calm the moment you stop feeling what you should feel. When a person looks into a wound and feels nothing, do not call it strength too quickly. Often it is the psyche's final defense, the soul anesthetizing itself so the ego can continue functioning. This is the silent switch where life becomes mechanical, where you speak, work, laugh, and reply, yet something inside you has quietly withdrawn into the dark. In my work, I have seen this calm appear before breakdowns, before betrayals, before sudden disappearances from life. Because when emotion dies, conscience often follows, and when conscience fades, the shadow begins to negotiate with you in secret. It will tell you, nothing matters. It will whisper, no one is real. It will offer cold solutions with warm logic. This is why you must stay alert. The unconscious speaks in symbols. A dream where your house has empty rooms, a familiar face that feels like a stranger, a mirror that reflects nothing behind the eyes. These are not poetic accidents. They are warnings. A healthy mind can feel pain and remain present. A dangerous mind feels nothing and calls it peace. So if you notice this calm, this deadened inner weather, do not celebrate it. Sit with it. Ask what you have buried alive. Because what you refuse to feel does not vanish. It waits and it returns, not as a feeling, but as a fate.
Ooh, that, wow.
Jung was right when he said no matter how isolated you are and how lonely you feel, if you do your work truly and conscientiously, unknown allies will come and seek you out.
People with high vibration show 3 unusual signs, according to Carl Jung. But Jung found that this ability to see everything was not a gift. It was so dangerous, it often destroyed people. Today, I will reveal the 3 unusual signs that mark someone as either extraordinary or on the verge of psychological collapse. In his clinical practice, Jung documented patients with what he called differentiated perception. These were individuals who could read micro-expressions, sense hidden emotions, and perceive psychological patterns that escaped everyone else. They saw through social masks, detected lies instantly, and felt the unconscious tensions in every room. Jung called this discovery dangerous because these people consistently ended up isolated, exhausted, and unable to maintain normal relationships. Not because they were unstable, but because seeing everything came with a psychological cost no one understood. This awareness was seen as a curse, making them too sensitive or overly emotional. Here is something most people miss about empaths and highly sensitive individuals. Society teaches them to suppress this power. They are weapons waiting to be forged. Every kind person who sees too much learns to doubt their perceptions, to apologize for existing, to silence themselves. But what happens when that suppression breaks? When someone finally trusts what they have always seen? The first unusual sign shows that these individuals are not weak victims. They are psychological geniuses in hiding. When Jung asked his patients with differentiated perception to describe their relationships, he expected scattered thoughts of damaged minds. What he discovered changed everything he thought he knew about empaths. These patients had not been broken by abuse. They had been studying it. Jung found that empaths kept detailed mental records of every person who had ever hurt them. They knew their abusers' triggers, insecurities, and deepest fears. They had mapped emotional patterns with surgical precision. It was like they maintained a strategist's war room in their minds. They catalogued micro-expressions, voice changes, behavioral patterns. They understood the psychology of manipulation better than the manipulators themselves. They could predict outcomes, forecast relationship disasters, sense betrayals months before they occurred. And here is what made Jung's blood run cold. They had never used this knowledge, not once, until something pushed them past their breaking point. These empaths process emotional information faster and more accurately than everyone else. Their brains are wired for pattern recognition in human behavior. Society had taught them that this gift was a curse. Every time they tried to voice what they saw, the lies, the manipulation, the hidden agendas, people called them too sensitive or overly emotional. They learned to silence themselves, to doubt their perceptions, to apologize for seeing what others could not. Jung wrote that the empath does not lose their mind from feeling too much. They lose their mind from being told their feelings are wrong. He realized these individuals were not having a nervous breakdown. They were having a breakthrough. Their pattern recognition was not a malfunction.
Ah, shit.
Have you ever noticed how
Carl Jung was right when he said, "The best method for dealing with the darkness of others is by understanding your own darkness." He said that self-awareness, particularly facing our own flaws, the shadow, allows for greater empathy and less judgment, as we stop projecting our insecurities onto others and understand their struggles better.
How true it was when Carl Jung said, "The world is full of people suffering from the effects of their own unlived life. They become bitter, critical, or rigid, not because the world is cruel to them, but because they have betrayed their own inner possibilities. The artist who never makes art becomes cynical about those who do. The lover who never risks loving mocks romance. The thinker who never commits to a philosophy sneers at belief itself. And yet, all of them suffer, because deep down they know the life they mock is the life that they were meant to live."
That was good. Absolutely. If you live every moment, forget the past. It's over. You can't go back and change it, so why stress about it? Don't worry about the future, because you're not promised 5 minutes from now. You don't know how much time you have left. So make the most of every right now. Right now, make the most of it. Go outside, go walk in the park, go be in nature, hug a tree, take your socks and shoes off, walk around in the grass barefoot, read a book, write some shit, learn some shit, study some shit. What are you gonna do different than what you've ever done before? If you are sitting there watching this right now, and you are in life, and you don't like where you are, only you can change that. Only you can make the decisions and choices for your life to get yourself out of wherever it is that you are in life that you don't want to be. Nobody else can do it for you. Nobody. Nobody's coming to save you. We are our own saviors. And if you want better, you gotta do better. You gotta make better choices. You gotta have better habits. And I'm working on that myself. Believe me, my life is nowhere near where I want it to be, but I am fully comprehensive of the fact that if I want my future to be amazing and bright and beautiful and successful and abundant and all of those things, what am I doing right now to make that happen? Am I sitting on my phone scrolling? Am I engaging in pointless, stupid, dumb conversations that do absolutely nothing to plant seeds of flowers in my mind? Am I hanging around people that don't align with who I want to become, with who I am today? No, I don't. I do things for myself that I need to do right now to make sure that my tomorrow is bright, to make sure that my family is set, to make sure that I break the curse that has been over my family for years, centuries probably, I don't know. It's time. It's time to rise above. It's time to stop letting people put doubt in your mind. What do you say about you? What do you believe about you? Who do you want to become? What are you capable of? And listen, when I first started this journey of learning to love myself, it was awkward to look in the mirror and be like, I love you. I'm proud of you. You're somebody. You have a purpose in life and you are going to be amazing. You were created to be a beautiful beam of light in this dark ass world. So why wouldn't I do the things for myself to make that true? I do. And you can do it too. You just gotta believe in yourself. Thank you for tuning in to Lady Boss Energy, where we uplift, motivate, and inspire each other. Let's get our shit together. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know somebody who you think would enjoy watching this, share it with them. I hope you have an amazing 24 and the best 7 yet. And the divine will radiate love and kindness and compassion and abundance and peace and joy and all the things over your life. Today, tomorrow, and forever. Till I see you on the next one. I love you.
Lady Boss Energy, yeah, she knows the way. You can finally speak of love and light any time of day. Lady Boss Energy, this one she got the vibe, never